Sign here. And here. Dante Moretti slid the divorce papers across his mahogany desk without looking up from his phone. Sophia stood in the doorway of his office, still in her coat, and stared at the documents. 3 years of marriage. Reduced to 2 signature lines. You're sure this is what you want? Her voice was steady. We've discussed this. Still not looking at her. The marriage was strategic. The alliance is complete. There's no reason to continue the arrangement. Arrangement. Not marriage. Not partnership. Arrangement. Sophia stepped forward and picked up the pen. Fine. That made him look up. She signed the first line. Clean, deliberate signature. My lawyer will be in touch about the settlement, Dante said, already looking back at his phone. You'll be taken care of. I don't want your money, Sophia. I want out. That's all. She signed the second line. Set down the pen. I'll be gone by the weekend. She turned to leave. Where will you go? She paused at the door. Does it matter? He didn't answer. Sophia walked out. For days later, Sophia was packing her books when Dante appeared in the library doorway. He'd been avoiding her since she signed the papers, staying late at the office, sleeping in the guest room. Now he stood there, tie loosened, looking like he wanted to say something. I'm almost done, Sophia said, not looking at him. I'll be out by tomorrow. There's no rush. There's no reason to stay either. She placed another book in the box. The arrangement is over, remember? Dante stepped into the room. Sophia. Another man asked me out tonight. The words stopped him mid-step. Sophia kept packing, voice casual. At the bookstore. His name is Andrew. He's a professor. Literature. He asked if I'd like to have dinner with him Friday. The silence was sharp enough to cut. What did you say? Dante's voice was very quiet. I said I'd think about it. Sophia finally looked at him. I'm going to be single soon. Might as well start acting like it. Something dangerous flickered across Dante's face. You're still married. On paper. For 3 more weeks. She turned back to her books. After that, what I do and who I see is none of your concern. Sophia. You wanted the divorce, Dante. You said there was no reason to continue. So I'm not continuing. She taped the box shut. I'm moving forward. With a literature professor. Maybe with someone else. Maybe with no one. She picked up the box. But whoever I choose or don't choose, it won't be your business anymore. She walked past him toward the door. His hand caught her elbow. Don't. Sophia stopped, looked pointedly at his hand, then at his face. Don't what? Don't see him. Why not? Because Dante's jaw worked. Because you're my wife. Sophia pulled her arm free. No, I was your wife. You made it very clear that was just business. A strategic arrangement. And now the arrangement is ending. She stepped back. You don't get to keep me in limbo just because another man noticed what you've been ignoring for 3 years. I haven't been ignoring. When was the last time we had dinner together? Silence. When was the last time you asked about my day, my work, anything about me that wasn't related to a business function or a public appearance? Dante's expression was stone, but his hands were fists. That's what I thought. Sophia's voice softened, but not with warmth, with resignation. I've been alone in this marriage for 2 years. Dante. Andrew asking me to dinner doesn't change that. It just makes it official. She turned and walked away. This time he didn't follow. Friday came. Sophia stood in front of her closet, the one in the guest room she'd moved to months ago, and pulled out a dress. Not black. Not the severe, elegant styles Dante preferred for his wife to wear at functions. Deep green. Soft fabric. Something she'd bought for herself and never had occasion to wear. She was fastening her earrings when the bedroom door opened. Nonak. Dante stood in the doorway, still in his work clothes, eyes tracking from her dress to her face. You're actually going. I said I would. To dinner. With him. His name is Andrew. And yes, Sophia picked up her clutch. He made a reservation at that French place downtown. The one with the garden patio. Dante's expression was unreadable. I could have taken you there. But you didn't. I'm taking you now. Sophia turned to face him fully. What? Cancel with the professor. Dante stepped into the room. Have dinner with me instead. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. Sophia stared at him. You filed for divorce 4 days ago. You called our marriage an arrangement. You said there was no reason to continue. I was wrong. Wrong. She repeated the word like it was foreign. You were wrong. Yes. And you realized this when, exactly? When you signed the papers. When I agreed to leave. Sophia's voice rose slightly. Or when another man asked me to dinner. Dante's silence was answer enough. Sophia laughed short, sharp, humorless. Unbelievable. Sophia. For 3 years I have been here, present, trying. She set down her clutch, turning to face him fully. I attended every event. Smiled for every photograph. Played the perfect mafia wife while you treated me like a business asset. That's not. I asked you 6 months ago if we could talk. Really talk. About us. About what this marriage was. Her voice cracked. You said you had a meeting. You never rescheduled. Dante's jaw tightened. I suggested couples therapy. You laughed. Said Moretus don't air their problems to strangers. Sophia, I tried to leave twice before. You convinced me to stay. Said things would change. She picked up her clutch again. They never did. So I stopped trying. And when I stopped trying, you didn't even notice. I noticed. You noticed when I signed divorce papers. You noticed when I mentioned another man. Sophia walked toward the door. She reached the doorway. He blocked her path. Move. No. Dante. I noticed. His voice was low, rough. I noticed when you stopped waiting up for me. When you moved to the guest room. When you stopped trying to hold my hand at events. He stepped closer. I noticed when you started drinking tea instead of coffee because I was never home for breakfast anymore. When you stopped asking about my day because I never asked about yours. When the light in your eyes dimmed every time I walked into a room. Sophia's breath caught. I noticed all of it, Dante continued. And I told myself it was better this way. Safer. That keeping distance kept you protected from my world. That's a coward's excuse. I know. His hand came up, hovering near her face but not touching. I have been a coward. I convinced myself that not letting you in was protecting you. But really, I was protecting myself. From what? From this. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. From needing you. From caring so much that losing you would destroy me. Sophia's eyes burned. So you pushed me away first. Yes. And now that I'm actually leaving, you've decided you want me to stay. Yes. That's not how this works, Dante. I know. You can't ignore someone for years and then snap your fingers and expect them to come running back because you're finally paying attention. I know that too. His hand finally touched her face, thumb brushing her cheekbone. But I'm asking anyway. Cancel dinner. Stay. Let me prove I can be the husband you deserved from the beginning. Sophia closed her eyes. 1 dinner doesn't fix 3 years. Then I'll give you 1,000 dinners. Every night. For as long as you'll let me. Pretty words. Let me make them real. His forehead came to rest against hers. Please, Sophia. Don't go to him. Not tonight. Not before you let me try. She pulled back, eyes open, meeting his. Why should I? Because I love you. The words hung in the air between them. Sophia's voice was barely a whisper. You've never said that before. I should have. Every day. From the beginning. Dante's hand cupped her face fully now. I love you. I have loved you. I was just too afraid to admit that loving you gave you the power to break me. A tear slipped down Sophia's cheek. So you broke me first, she said softly. Yes. And I will spend the rest of my life making up for it, if you let me. Sophia's phone buzzed in her clutch. She pulled it out. Andrew, running 5 minutes late. See you soon. She stared at the message. Then at Dante. If I stay tonight, she said slowly, it doesn't mean I'm staying forever. It doesn't mean I'm taking you back. I understand. It means I'm giving you 1 chance. 1 dinner. To show me you mean what you're saying. Dante's eyes never left hers. 1 chance is more than I deserve. Sophia typed out a response. Something came up. I need to reschedule. I'm sorry. She put the phone away. 1 dinner, she repeated. 1 dinner, Dante agreed. He took her to the kitchen. Not to a restaurant. Not somewhere public and impressive. To their kitchen, where he'd clearly been working before coming to find her. The table was set. Not by staff, by him. Slightly crooked. Mismatched wine glasses because he'd clearly grabbed the first ones he found. You cooked? Sophia stared. I tried to cook. Dante pulled out her chair. It's probably terrible. I called my mother halfway through. She walked me through it. Sophia sat slowly. You called your mother? She was thrilled. Said it was about time I learned to do something useful. He uncovered a dish of pasta. Slightly overdone, sauce a little too thick, but clearly made with effort. You made cacio e pepe. Your favorite. Dante sat across from her. Or it used to be. I don't actually know if it still is. I don't know a lot of things about you anymore. And I want to. Sophia picked up her fork. Took a bite. It was oversalted and the pasta was mushy. It's awful, Dante said flatly. It's not great, Sophia agreed. They looked at each other. And then, for the first time in months, Sophia laughed. Not politely. Not performatively. A real laugh that made her shoulders shake and tears gather in her eyes. Dante started laughing too. Rough and surprised, like he'd forgotten how. I'm a disaster, he said. You really are. Sophia wiped her eyes. This is the worst cacio e pepe I've ever had. My mother told me to cook it for 9 minutes. I panicked and did 12. Why did you panic? Because you were getting ready to have dinner with another man and I was losing my mind. He ran a hand through his hair. I burned the first batch. Dropped the second. This is attempt number 3. Sophia set down her fork. You made this 3 times. I would have made it 30 times if that's what it took. Dante reached across the table. Sophia, I have been an idiot. A blind, stupid, cowardly idiot. His hand was palm up. An offering, not a demand. Sophia looked at it. At him. At the terrible pasta and crooked place settings and the man who'd finally showed up. She placed her hand in his. One dinner, she repeated softly. One dinner. Dante's thumb brushed over her knuckles. And then tomorrow, if you'll let me, another. And the day after. And every day until you believe me when I say I'm not going anywhere. What about the divorce papers? Burned them. Sophia's eyes widened. You? 2 days ago. In the fireplace. Watched every page turn to ash. His grip on her hand tightened slightly. You are not an arrangement, Sophia. You are my wife. My partner. The person I want beside me. Not behind me, not hidden from my world, but beside me in it. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to be terrible at this at first. I've spent 3 years being a husband in name only. He raised her hand to his lips. But I'm going to learn. I'm going to try. Every single day. Sophia's voice was thick. Why now? Why did it take another man for you to? Didn't. Dante interrupted her gently. Took you walking away. Really walking away. Not threatening. Not asking. Just done. He met her eyes. Losing you became real. And it terrified me. So this is fear talking. This is fear waking me up. His voice roughened. I spent 3 years afraid of the wrong thing. Afraid of letting you in. Afraid of being vulnerable. And that fear was destroying the one thing I should have been protecting, us. He stood, still holding her hand, and came around the table. Knelt beside her chair. Sophia Moretti. I am asking, begging for another chance. Not because another man looked at you, but because I finally looked at myself and hated what I saw. Sophia's free hand came up to touch his face. This doesn't fix everything. I know. I'm still angry. I'm still hurt. You should be. And if you slip back, if you disappear into your work, if you start treating me like an accessory again, I'm gone. For real. No more chances. Understood. Dante turned his head to kiss her palm. I will show up, Sophia. Every day. In every way. I swear it. She looked at him for a long moment, then pulled him up and kissed him. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't gentle. It was 3 years of loneliness and anger and desperate, aching hope poured into one moment. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante's hands were shaking where they cupped her face. Stay, he whispered. Please stay. One dinner, Sophia whispered back. One dinner. And then we'll see. 3 months later. Sophia walked into Dante's office at the compound. Something she'd never done before. His world, his space, always separate from her. Not anymore. He looked up immediately. Phone call forgotten mid-sentence. I'll call you back. He hung up. Everything okay? Andrew asked me to coffee today. Dante's entire body went still. He's doing a reading at the bookstore. His new book. He wanted to know if I'd come. Sophia walked further into the room. And if I'd consider having coffee after. As friends. What did you say? I said yes. The muscle in Dante's jaw ticked. To the reading. And to coffee. Sophia stopped in front of his desk. I also asked if my husband could come with me. Dante blinked. You? He's a nice man. And his work is interesting. And I'd like to support him. Sophia tilted her head. But I'd also like my husband there. If he can make time in his schedule. Dante was already pulling up his calendar. When? Friday. 7 p.m. I have a meeting with the Chicago family. Sophia's expression shuddered. Of I understand. I'm moving it. Dante was already texting. Friday is our night. I don't miss Friday. Every Friday for the past 3 months. Dinner. Sometimes at home. Sometimes out. Sometimes just take out on the couch. But never missed. Not once. Sophia felt the knot in her chest loosen. You're sure? Dante stood, came around the desk, pulled her close. Chicago can wait. You can't. Not anymore. He kissed her forehead, her cheek, her lips. Besides, he murmured, I want to meet this professor. The man who helped me realize I was losing you. You're not jealous? Terrified. Dante corrected. Every day I'm terrified you'll realize you deserve better than a reformed workaholic with control issues. Lucky for you, I have a thing for reformed workaholics. How reformed am I, really? Sophia pretended to think about it. You're home for dinner 6 nights a week. You ask about my day. You actually listen to the answer. She smiled. You're getting there. Only 6 nights? Well, last week you had that thing that I rescheduled as soon as you mentioned wanting to try that new restaurant. Dante pulled her closer. I'm home 7 nights unless you tell me otherwise. Dante, you don't have to. I want to. That's the difference now. His hands framed her face. I'm not here out of obligation. I'm here because this you, us, our life is what I want to prioritize. Finally, Sophia's eyes burned. I used to think being married to you meant being alone. And now? Now I think being married to you means being chosen. Every day. Dante kissed her again, deeper this time. When they broke apart, Sophia smiled. So, Friday, 7 p.m. Coffee with my husband and a literature professor. It's a date. Dante hesitated. Should I? Is there a protocol for meeting the man who almost asked out your wife? No protocol. Just be yourself. The jealous, possessive version or the reformed version? The version who trusts me. Sophia kissed him lightly. Because you do trust me, right? With my life. With everything. Dante's arms came around her waist. But if he looks at you a certain way, I make no promises about my self-control. Dante. Kidding. Mostly. Sophia laughed and let him hold her. There in his office in the middle of his workday. Something that never would have happened before. I love you, Dante said quietly into her hair. I know. Sophia pulled back to look at him. You tell me every day now. It's very inconvenient for staying angry with you. That's the plan. Evil genius. Desperate husband. They stood there, holding each other, office phone ringing in the background. Dante didn't move to answer it. You can get that, Sophia said. Can wait. The old Dante would have answered on the first ring. The old Dante was an idiot who almost lost you. Dante's thumb brushed her cheek. The new Dante knows what actually matters. The phone stopped ringing. Sophia smiled. I love you too, by the way. I know. Dante kissed her softly. You stayed. That's how I know.